Have you ever tried to build a simple tooltip and ended up questioning your entire career choice? You set position absolute, you calculate the offsets, you add a scroll listener, and then you resize the window, and your tooltip is vibing in the middle of the ocean. For years, we've relied on heavy JavaScript libraries like Popper or Floating UI just to make one element sit next to another. Well, grab your party hats because CSS Anchor Positioning is finally here to make our lives infinitely easier. No JS required, just pure, unadulterated CSS magic. Okay, so what is it? Think of anchor positioning like a stage 5 clinger. You have one element, the anchor, and another element, the anchored element, that refuses to leave its side. In the past, absolute positioning was relative to the nearest positioned ancestor. With anchor positioning, we can tether an element to any other element on the page regardless of where they sit in the HTML structure. Let's jump to the code first. Our HTML here, I add a button and div. Let's set buttons class to btn. The text is over me, and the tooltip class tip, and the text is hello there. Cool. Here you see the output. Then let's go to the CSS file first, just some basic styling. First, the button, I add padding, top and bottom 10 pixels, left and right 20 pixels. Let's also change the background color to yellow and also change the font size larger. Cool. Optionally, we can also center this button using display block and margin 0 and auto. And I save it. Okay, then let's add the basic styling for the tooltip. Tooltip, padding 8 pixels and 20 pixels. Background black. Color needs to add some contrast, and border radius maybe 6 pixels. Now comes the anchor magic. The first step is to set the anchor's name. Anchor name, and then you can pick whatever name that you want. Here I use btn again, and that's it for the anchor itself. And then we go to the anchored element, and we should do the rest here. First of all, we need to set the position property to either absolute or fixed, because as mentioned, we should detach this element from the document flow. Then the handshaking part. So we need to attach this anchored element to its anchor using position anchor, and it's super important, we should use the exact same name that we used here. btn again. Now it's working, so you see. Then should set the exact position of this anchored element. First of all, let's set top, and this is the important part, the anchor function, which is the heart of anchor positioning. Anchor bottom, and this line means set the top edge of this element to the exact same vertical position of the anchor. Then we set the left property, anchor center, and I save it. You see, this line means the left edge of the tooltip should be aligned with the horizontal center of the button. To make it perfectly centered, we can also use the transform property to move it or to pull it to the left. Translate x and minus, we guessed it, 50%. And finally, we need to add the hover interaction. First, let's change the opacity. So I set the opacity property to 0 initially. I save it. Now we see that it's gone. Then to animate this tooltip, I add transition 0.3 seconds, and then I want the tooltip to appear when we hover over the button, and it's a good use case of the adjacent sibling combinator. So ATN hover, whenever we hover over the button, tooltip should be visible, and the opacity is 1 in this case. I save it and let's hover over the button. There we go. Here it appears and then disappears with a nice animation. Needless to say that you can use this anchor positioning not only for tooltips, but also for dropdowns, popovers, or even context menus.
So is JavaScript positioning dead? Not quite. We still need fallbacks for older browsers. But for modern apps, this is a game changer. It's more performant because the browser handles the layout logic natively. Your homework. Go try to build a drop-down menu using only anchor positioning. It feels like cheating, but it's totally legal. If you found this helpful, smash that like button like it's a bug in your production code. Subscribe for more CSS magic and let me know in the comments what's the most annoying thing you've ever had to position. Until next time, keep coding, keep learning, and as always, stay awesome.